All right, y'all. Welcome. This is I don't have a name for it yet, Julia, but I'm thinking it's gonna be or I had no idea. So when someone says a story, you're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea.
Exactly.
So welcome to the podcast. This is one of the first episodes, and real quick, I just want to say I'm Nico. I am Landlocked Entertainment, and I really wanted to do podcasts that kind of I feel like there's such a stigma in a way, and there's such a just kind of people think of podcasts think of only one thing. And I'm someone who loves conversation. I'm someone who loves talking to people and hearing their stories and really just kind of diving deeper instead of just the basic kind of, hey, how you doing? Good, keep it pushing. I really want to push the boundaries and show that you can have deep conversations with people. So today I am so excited. I have the Julia Starr. Julia, you have a lot of nicknames, so
hmm
y'all know her. You've seen her. You know how amazing and how uplifting and high spirit she is. So Julia, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I'm really excited to have this talk with you today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, this podcast is going to be different things about traumas, about hardships, about struggling, about loss.
hmm
Is there anything that you want to kind of touch on while we get into this?
So I want to talk about how we first met,
Okay.
and I think we met through James, our friend James, and I think
Did we?
Krista Griffin.
When we were what, freshmen?
Yeah,
I think
because
it was Krista.
Krista
Shout
and
out Krista.
Krista is in yeah. Shout out to Krista. Krista and I were friends because she dated Emma Reynolds. Because back at South, it's now called Billy Mills, there was a big group. It was like Sam Griffin, Griffin Nelson, Krista Griffin, and Emma Reynolds. I was at Central Middle School, and Emma was dating my friend Cooper Avery. Shout out to Cooper.
Shout out to
And
all of them.
exactly, and basically, but yeah, Krista was like, I have this friend. His name's Nico. I think you're gonna like him. And I was like, okay, sounds good. And I think we didn't have a class. We had like one class together, maybe.
I think
Freshman.
sophomore year. Did we have one freshman year?
I think we did.
Do we have history together?
I think we do.
Yeah, with
and then we reconnected our junior year because DJ Davis, shout out to DJ, he's hilarious. He reintroduced us. And he was like, "Yeah, Nico and I are in IPS together," and I was like, "Oh wait, what?"
Yeah.
And then of course Mr. Styles, shout out to Mr. Styles, Mr. Styles. He got us reconnected, and then we were like not really friends in school, kind of, I think. And basically,
we got closer senior year.
Yeah, because you were an office aide and I was just a special needs kid trying to figure out life.
We went to some games together.
We did. That was fun. And then
there's a YouTube video on this channel. If you guys want to go all the way back, it's literally just Julie and I jamming out.
We were jamming
to
out
the radio,
and we were going to Topeka. Remember, you were getting some shoes from your homie in Topeka.
Yeah, I was getting shoes, and then we were going to. It was a basketball game.
Yeah, basketball game right after school.
They had a tournament.
And then it was James's birthday, and you were trying to figure out, do I get James Chipotle? We miss you, James. Yeah, and then I just remember when I was finding out to be a speaker at graduation, you're like, oh, I'm in choir. And I'm like, wait, what? I forgot you were in choir. Yeah. But then, of course, I saw you in Showtime that year. And then there's a photo in our local newspaper of him and Josh Axel hugging each other. And then there's me in the background, like, photobombing it for no apparent reason. I don't know why.
Yep, shout out Josh.
Mm-hmm.
The OG. Yeah, so that's really is crazy.
Mm-hmm. We've been now friends, like, gosh, like, long time.
Yeah.
But so I want to know, where were you? So obviously it's talking about loss. So you were in Colorado the day James died, and you like, was it like, talk about, for me, like
what was going on in my head?
What were you doing that day? Like, was it a normal day in Colorado, or
right?
What? Tell me, I never heard the story.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I was actually in Lawrence, because I was back for the holidays, and I was actually at Rock Chalk Park, and I was with my sister and my mom. And I think we were either playing pickleball and then we were playing soccer. I don't know. We were kind of just fooling around, messing around. And then my mom gets this call and she kind of like goes away in the distance. So I knew, okay, it's a serious call or something. And then she comes back maybe 5 minutes later and she's like, yo, we have to go. And, my sister and I were kind of confused. We were, what, why? Okay, whatever. So we didn't think anything of it. And then we were walking to the car. And my mom was like, hey, that was Kara. She just called, James passed away. And I was kind of honestly in complete shock at that moment. I've actually never talked about this, but I didn't really know. I didn't, I'm not. I process things very late.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
get hit with things very late. Like when I lost my brother, that didn't really fully hit me until a few years later.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
it was kind of a like the initial like, holy crap, holy,
This is
this is
serious.
yeah, this is crazy news. The drive back, I remember just like looking out the window. I got back, my mom told my dad, and my dad just gave me like a big hug, and we kind of just cried there for a little bit together, and then I just went to my room, and I kind of just sat there in my bed for a little bit, and I didn't really want to talk to anyone at the time, and I remember I just got on my phone and I texted Kara and I texted Grace and said, thinking about you, I'm here for you, and it was really nice. Grace texted, which is James's sister, and said, he loved you so much. So it was definitely just, and it was what it was. I think it was the day or two after Christmas, and it was even crazier, Julius. I was actually supposed to see him, I think 2 or 3 days before Christmas.
Really?
Yeah, because we were supposed to see each other when I got back. I think I was in Lawrence for maybe a week, little less than a week,
Yeah.
and I don't want to tell his business, but something happened with his personal life, and we were supposed to hang out, and then something came up, and we had to reschedule. So then we had rescheduled for that,
Hmm.
and yeah, it's actually crazy because that last probably 6-ish or so months, we were actually in contact a lot,
Yeah.
and he drove to Mexico,
Hmm.
and I tried to have him come pull up to me on his way back. It would have added some hours,
Yeah.
but he was down. But there was a really big storm happening, and his dad really wanted him to just play it safe, which I understand.
Hmm.
But the relationship with James and I, a lot of people probably saw it was great, it was awesome, but there was definitely a lot of struggle. There was definitely a lot of like butting heads. We're both very similar personalities, as you know, and
Yeah.
there's definitely some drama, especially growing up. But it was all love at the end of the day, and yeah, that's kind of where I was and what
Hmm.
happened that day.
Because I remember, I think I was at Cheyenne. Shout out to Cheyenne. She did IPS with James and Nico, and I think I was at her house.
Okay.
I think I'm not sure I was there or at my house,
Okay.
and I just saw on Facebook, like social media, James is dead, and I'm like, wait, what? And then I called Cheyenne, and she's like, what's happening? We need to check on Nico immediately. Immediately, we thought of you. Immediately, we thought of you
Appreciate that.
because we're like, well, we need to call Nico. We need to call Miri if they're okay. And then I just remember too, Alex Pickrell, shout out to Alex Pickrell, was like, yeah, I saw Miri and he knew about James, and I guess Miri was a mess. Like he did not handle it well. And Alex works as Cherry Hills Properties, a maintenance guy. And of course, Amiri at the time was working for the city of Lawrence doing trash stuff. And he said they talked about James, and Amiri like almost broke down. But people grieve differently. Like people grieve so differently. And I just remember too, my step grandmother printed off an entire article thing about James and gifted to me.
Oh, that's very nice.
So she knew I was struggling, and then I told. But anyways, but
Yeah.
anyways, but what do you do now to carry on his legacy? Is my question to you.
Yeah, definitely. So his mom and I worked very close together. He was starting a message called "Kindness Just Because."
Mm.
He had on Christmas, his parents actually made him a shirt that was kind of a tealish blue long sleeve, and it had "Kindness Just Because."
Mhm.
I believe it was either on the chest or on the pocket,
Mhm.
and that was something that he really kind of exuberated. He was always so kind to pretty much everyone he ever met. I remember, people would always compliment how nice he was, or he
Of
would
course.
say, all these fun stories. So it was kind of carrying the message in that way. We have stickers, we have yard signs. Which, do you have a yard sign?
I had to get rid of it when I moved.
You want another one?
I'll let you know.
Okay.
Anyways, but
So yeah, yard sign, shirts. We have been in parades. We've done
yeah,
kind of all of
our high
that.
school has done such a great job. So IPS, if you don't know what IPS is, it stands for interpersonal skills. And a lot of schools, like our high school, was lucky enough to like the first ever high school to do it in the state of Kansas, I believe.
Did you know
And
my sister was in that? And she was in the first class.
no way, that's so
Yeah,
sick.
kind of
And
crazy.
Anyway, so yeah, basically they recognize James as much as they can because obviously we're not going to talk about what he died from, but it was tragic and he was just a great man and people need to understand that. So I want to know about this. So did you find out? Did I tell you I was a speaker at graduation, or who told you?
Yeah, you told me. You saw me in the hall. We were
And I was
going.
trying to tackle you. I was like, I'm a speaker.
Yeah, we remember. I think I was coming out of choir or something, or I was coming out one of the, that area, and you were coming down this way, in between lockers, and you were like, Nico, 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 guess what? I was like, what's up, Julia? And you kind of like gave me like a jumping hug, and you're like, I'm gonna be a speaker, and I was like, oh my gosh, congratulations.
And then Parker King, he's funny.
Yeah, and then that's when I told you. I was like, yo, we're gonna be like graduating close because I'm a.
I didn't believe you.
Yeah, I was like, I'm in choir, and you were like, no, shut up, and I was like, no, Julie, I've been in choir since I was a freshman. I've always
no,
done.
but because I didn't know because it was either so our school is so weird. Like it goes the speakers choir like it was like chorale, right?
Yeah. So it was the seniors of chorale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was insane.
Yeah. So it was it you or Parker first?
Me.
Yeah. So you graduated first. I think I graduated I think it was you, Parker, Josh, and then me.
Yeah.
So
that was so funny.
Yeah,
that was because we were like, but yeah. Anyway, so another thing is I'm so grateful for is that you and I've gotten closer. Like even though like my mom my mom had heart disease for so long, and you were there whenever she was sick, and you were like praying, of course, and then I really appreciate you being there at the service because not a lot of my high school friends could go because a lot of them I didn't want to be like a burden on them and everything. So I only invited you and Angel because like obviously Angel was my prom date. But
shout out Angel.
We miss you.
What a great guy.
But anyways, and then but Nico is practically like family, and I don't know if he feels the same way because like even though we lost James together, like we lost my mom. Remember when we went to El Pocho and I made you and Angel try my mom's favorite drink? So my mom, she loved a margarita on the rocks with no salt. My mom couldn't have salt because she was a cardiac patient.
And y'all know I don't drink.
And then he looked at me and he was like, "Why in the hell are we doing this?" Sorry for my French. And then Angel's like, "Oh, I like this." And Nico's like, and Angel's like, "You want to try this, Nico?" And he's like, "This is disgusting. Who drinks a margarita without salt?"
Hey, how to do it for your mom? Shout out your mom.
Like, if you were drinking, what's your go-to alcoholic drink of choice?
Okay, good question. Honestly, I like shots or more fruity drinks. I would say a vodka Sprite or like a vodka cranberry or a vodka Red Bull, something like that.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
I definitely, or maybe I just don't like how alcohol tastes that much. So anything like a fruity drink, I really like the fruity drinks. Sex on the beach or anything with like cranberry.
Have you ever tried a mimosa?
Yes, but I don't really like orange juice, girl.
You don't like orange juice?
I like Sunny D.
Oh my gosh. But have you ever tried Bloody Mary?
Yeah, I don't like that.
My mom likes
tomato juice.
It's tomato juice, but also it depends on like if you make them spicy or not. My mom didn't like it spicy. It just depends on like how spicy you want it.
Okay, well, how do you make it spicy? Like you put like Tabasco sauce in it or what?
I have no idea. But
interesting.
But so obviously you moved to Kansas City. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So what's the one thing you like? What's the one restaurant you miss about Lawrence?
Ooh, the one restaurant I miss about Lawrence. Honestly, that's a good question, Julia. That's a good question. Hmm. I think we have some good taco spots here.
I was also going to say Pizza Shuttle.
Yeah, well, there's a Pizza Shuttle in Kansas City. You know that?
It's in Overland Park.
Oh, is it? Okay.
It's not the same though. I've heard.
Oh, it's not the same. Okay.
Lawrence is the OG spot, man.
Okay, yeah, you're right. You know what? I'm gonna say Pizza Shuttle. Shout out Pizza Shuttle for sure.
It's so good.
I got so many memories there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But
okay, what's your pizza? What's your pizza shuttle order?
Italian sausage, cream cheese.
Nice. That's solid. That's pretty close to what I get. I do cream cheese, sausage, and bacon.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's bussin'.
But who's your favorite person you keep in contact from our class besides me?
Girl, I don't really keep in a lot of contact. I've tried a lot to keep in contact with a lot of people in our class, but in our class, like, you see who's my favorite that I keep in contact with?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, Julia, you put me on the spot. I had to think about that one.
Josh and Amiri?
Sure. Yeah, I'd say them.
because like they're your dogs, they're your besties. You got
Yeah, them, Trey Dog. You know, there's a lot of people.
shout out to Trey killing it in LA, by the way.
Yeah.
He makes me proud. For me, I feel like
Okay.
Christina Wilkes.
Yep. Definitely.
She now goes by Christina King because,
Yeah.
but she's so sweet.
Yeah.
She's so sweet. So obviously you learned a lot from your time in IPS
Yeah.
about like students with disabilities.
For
What's the
sure.
one piece of advice you can give to someone like yourself that doesn't have a disability that can be a mentor for students with disabilities? Like,
Yeah, that's a good question, Julia. I think, just being able to treat everyone with respect and, treating everyone no matter what size, race, color, skin, ability, disability they have. I think that's something that my parents really kind of ingrained in me since I was a kid.
mm-hmm,
Also growing up in Lawrence, it's a lot more diverse than a lot of places in the
mm-hmm,
Midwest. So I think I'm very grateful for that. And yeah, I think just being in class with just a big mix of people that
mm-hmm,
you might not usually have classes with
mm-hmm.
is just very eye opening. Someone could have a disability and someone else could have another similar disability, but the two could be very opposite.
Like autism. So basically, with
Right.
autism, there's nonverbal and verbal. Nonverbal, basically, they can only say like maybe 2 words max, and also too like their speech impediment's really hard. But people with autism that are verbal, they're more highly functioning. Like Christina, for instance, she has autism. She got a late diagnosis because she just didn't know. But
Is she
also,
is she open about that? The autism?
yeah,
Do you think that's okay if we put this in?
yeah, of
Okay.
course. She's very open about it. And also like she doesn't like so she did sports, of course. And
Yeah, she's very athletic. She did great.
she doesn't have pain. Her pain tolerance is
Yeah.
like her pain tolerance is low.
Right.
And but yeah, she's so sweet.
Yeah.
Anyways, she's so adorable and she's still together with her boyfriend.
So cute.
It's
All right, Joe. I got a question for you. What is something that was a really hard either task or a really hard situation that, when you were in that moment, when you were in that struggle, you weren't really sure if you were going to make it out on their side. You didn't know if you were going to be able to just power through. Can you give a situation and then kind of what helped you just kind of keep pushing and then eventually, get to a point where you felt better?
yeah, so oh my gosh, you're thinking really hard. So my mom got sick in October of 2022, and it was just a normal Tuesday. We would always go to the Merc on Tuesdays. We would always do our grocery shopping every Tuesday, and she wasn't feeling good. And I was like, and she said, "Okay, don't be surprised if I go get checked out." And I was like, "Okay, whatever." But then I she called me and was like, "My aorta burst again." I was like, "Oh my gosh."
And can you explain what that is?
It's in your chest,
Okay.
and it can burst at any time.
Is it like around your lungs
Or
or
it's in your heart, right?
is it in your heart? Okay.
And it can burst at any time. This was my mom's second time doing it,
Mm.
and also they had to take her to the hospital, KUMed, and do 5 open heart surgeries. And she was lucky to hang on as long as she could. But for me, what I did was, okay, I still have to keep going with school.
Yeah.
I luckily got to graduate from my program in May of this year, of course. I have to keep going um with life, and even though my mom would always be in and out of hospitals, rehab, whatever. And so I just had to be there her excuse me, to be her caregiver and make sure everything was ready for her and everything and making sure like I would have to do. But it was a good I miss her every day, of course.
Right.
But sometimes too, like I don't wish this on anyone. If you notice anything about anyone you love, make sure you get your hearts checked because it's very important to do so because things can like trigger it, like eating too much salt,
Mm-hmm.
tobacco use, alcohol use, whatever.
Right.
So that's why it's very important to do so now. Like it's up to us young people in our generation that
Yeah.
we want to get checked
Stay
out.
on top of it.
Exactly.
You want to do things before it's too late instead of
Exactly.
trying to do things after.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Of course. So I love your sunflower tattoo.
Oh, thank you.
So is that from the state of Kansas, or what was your sunflower tattoo for?
Yeah, so this kind of whole arm's gonna be like kind of, where I've been. So I have like my adoption and I have my sunflower and then I have a matching tattoo with a Miri, which is the coordinates right here.
Oh.
So I want to do like a Korean style dragon on kind of the top of the shoulder.
Nice.
And then I'm gonna get, I think, a landlocked tattoo, a friendship tattoo with Kevin. No spoilers, so I'll let you in when I do that. And then I gotta get something for Colorado. And
You should do like something with the mountains,
yeah,
like the
well,
Rocky Mountains.
I have this one for my mom, and that's Colorado scene.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was thinking, I don't know, just kind of I gotta do something.
How many tattoos do you have now?
To be honest, I think I lost count after 20, so I'm not sure. But I'm doing a tattoo tour soon because I'm about to get a lot more tattoos.
I know you are. You're always getting more.
I haven't, besides, I got this one. Have you seen that one?
Oh yeah.
It's the gratitude logo or symbol. And then I got, you know what this is? Hold on. You know what that is?
What?
It's the White Lotus chip from Avatar: Last Airbender.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But,
so those are my two recent ones.
Nice. But yeah, that's awesome. But so obviously you did cross country. Did you do cross country track?
No, I did. I did the summer conditioning for maybe a week, or it was 2 days. I mean, all the boys were trying to get me to do it, and one of the reasons I stopped playing soccer, the reason I retired, is because there's so much running, Julia. I don't like running.
So that's why you retired from soccer?
Yeah. So I retired from soccer for like 3 reasons. There's a lot of running. I wasn't really in love with the game like I used to. I played it since I was, I think, 3, 4, 5, something like that. And I just felt like I wasn't really fully giving the sport, the game, my team, myself, everything anymore. And then I think it was the third reason was I felt like I was working super, super hard. I eventually got a starting position, and then at the end of the season, they moved like some other kids, other players up to our team, and then I was kind of benched again. And that kind of just killed my. That kind
Did
of
you
like
quit your sophomore year or junior year?
Sophomore year. That was kind of like the extra push, and then I did bowling my junior year.
Oh yeah, with Hannah Reed. But so I did baseball, of course.
Yep.
And I got encouraged by Megan Nation and a bunch of the girls, and I was like, okay. And then Deontay Lowry was like, hey, we need managers. I was like, okay. And they didn't take me. They took me seriously for a little bit, but then our senior year, of course, we had to regroup because our star player, Mr. Jacob Unruh Thumb, shout out to Thumb, dropped out because he didn't want to do the position he wants. So we had to regroup immediately.
What position was he?
He was designated hitter.
Oh, okay.
And they didn't, like, he was always going to be on the bench. And anyways, long story short, we had to regroup. And then also we were waiting on Kay Brunghart. Remember when he shattered his jaw?
Oh my goodness.
So
yeah.
Basically, we didn't know if he was going to get cleared by the doctors or not, if he could play.
Right.
And we were all like on high alert, like if he's going to get. And then I saw him. I had him in government class, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I got played," and I'm like, "Heck yeah, you did." So we had to regroup immediately, and and then we had like 9 players and 2 managers. It was me and this guy named Daniel Pauls. He was on JV, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So
shout out to Daniel. We went to Schwegler together.
No way.
Yeah,
he's a sweet kid.
Yeah, we were big homies back then.
Okay, I want to know about. So my girl Norwich Birchfield.
Yeah, we went to Schwegler together too.
Oh my gosh! So story time. I went to preschool with her. Like we were in one. We went to preschool, and then I reconnected with her at Central.
Okay.
And at the time, she was friends with you, and she was really good friends with Krista too.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Nora and I. She just got married recently. Congrats.
Oh my goodness! Congratulations, Nora.
She's so sweet. But yeah, I did percussion with her, and she really was there when I did percussion because
nice.
It just was hard because.
Yeah.
Do you remember Megan Hunt?
Yeah, she did drumline, right? Or she was a conductor or a.
She was on drumline.
Yeah.
She was really mean to me.
Oh.
In 7th grade and 8th grade, and she hated me.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, she hated me.
Was there like a reason? Do you know why or?
She thought she was trying to help, but she hated me. She hated my guts.
I'm sorry.
You were in orchestra, right?
Well, at South, but after my 7th, after 2 months, I was like, I'm not doing this. And then I did art. I said, forget that. Yeah, I dropped that. I only knew 3 strings, and I was first chair. Pretty impressive, I know, Julia.
I'm laughing at it. Oh my god, that's so weak. Oh my god. But so I want to hear about this. So, what was your favorite memory about being on Winter Court? So our story time. our school is not like normal school. So basically,
It's the best.
it is.
It's the best.
But basically, there's homecoming, and then obviously our school didn't do prom king and queen because we don't know because the other high school in Lawrence does prom king and queen. So we do like a bougier version called Winter Court. And Mr. Nico over here got nominated, and so when you're nominated, it's a huge deal. Someone it's a big deal because you get to do the film and also you get to interact with your classmates that you normally wouldn't hang out with. But of course, him and James were nominated together. But it's up to the student body. It's one boy, one girl wins. But now since we've graduated, they binaried it, and it can be two girls, it can be two guys. Thanks,
Yeah.
USD 497.
Yeah.
So
Progressive.
So, what was your favorite moment about Winter Court?
Oh man, Julia, that's a good question. I did a whole video on that.
I saw the vlog. That was amazing.
Did you like it?
Yeah, like I
Okay.
saw when you guys went to Pausanos and you guys skipped school for the day, and you guys have Pausanos.
Yeah, that was dope. Yeah, I did a video, like behind the scenes. I'd always wanted to work on one of the videos, but for some reason, the way my schedule was and like filming, Trey Dog and I were really focused on doing our short films.
Yeah.
So we were able to kind of, get around that, which was nice, but then it was also hard because I wasn't able to, work on the videos, which I'd always wanted to. That was one of the my favorite things of the whole year was, watching the films. So I was glad I was able to still be a part of it. So it was fun to be in it. The Griffin was helping out, and so many of the other team, and Mr. Salt's is so great. So it turned out really good. And I think, oh man, my favorite part, honestly, Julia, was just being excused from a lot of stuff and just not having to go to class. Honestly,
But so I want to know about this. So
What's up?
For the film, like obviously it was based on the Oscars that year.
Yep.
So did you guys get to come up with the idea about you guys' film, or how did that work?
Right. So the film class actually had, I think there was 7 or 8 of them on the team,
Mm-hmm.
and I think there was like a director. There was a, I think they all had their own writing. So, Griffin had, I think he had, what did he have? Did he have Star Wars? I don't know if he had mine or not. I can't remember, but so they all had their own. I think Avery had, something else. So they all kind of had their own. I think they all wrote it, and then we basically just did whatever they told us to.
So then, obviously, with the tuxedo, so did you have to get it? Like, did you have to get it fitted before you actually got it, or how did you? Because obviously, there's a local department store here in Lawrence called Reavers. So, how did that work? Did you have to get? Did they have to suit you up? What did they have to do?
That's exactly right, Julia. They said, all right, you have a week or two. You have to.
Nope.
My bad. So yeah, about the tuxes, we went down. They gave us a few days, and they said make sure you go down here this time. We got fitted, we got sized. I'm pretty sure James and I went down together, and then let's see, yeah, and then we just had to go pick it up, and that was it. It was pretty easy.
Did your sister get to come back for that, or
was she? Think she did, because I think it was around winter break,
and she was around, like she was in college.
Yeah, I think it was her senior year at college, so I'm pretty sure she. No, wait, actually, I don't know. I can't remember. I remember my parents. They came to the screenings, when they did the videos.
Yeah.
And then they also came to the other stuff. So I'm pretty sure my sister came back.
But yeah, that was really fun, and I did. It was so hard to vote for, but honestly, I voted for. I'm not gonna admit to this. I voted for Sussy and Meredith.
All right, Julia, I'm out. No, I'm playing.
But it was really hard because there was a lot of good candidates.
Honestly, I think it was a really good.
Because and of course your crush. We're not gonna mention who. Won, of course, and of course, if you know who Kobe Buffalo Meat is. If you watched that Jimmy Kimmel episode, then you know who Kobe Buffalo Meat was. But I can't believe your crush won it. But at least she won something. But your crush was adorable. I'm surprised that. Did she even talk to you that entire time? When you guys were nominated?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we were pretty cool then. When we'd hung out a decent amount that year, so kind of like leading up to that halfway point of the year, we definitely hung out sometimes as like bigger groups and stuff. So
I get it.
Hey, she's killing it. So she's out there and she's doing her thing. So shout out to her.
So my next question is, what is your favorite Showtime memory?
Ooh, honestly, I remember this was I think it was our sophomore or our freshman year. It was James, Josh, and I, and we were doing, yeah, it must have been a sophomore year. And we found out that people who had a lot of performances got to be in the dressing rooms on the side of the stage.
Yeah.
And we were all like, yo, our goal senior year, we all have to be in the dressing room. And you know what, Julia?
What?
We manifested it and we did it, and we were all in there, and it was so much fun. It was us, it was Bryce, it was Stus, it was Jackson, it was Michael, and I want to say, who am I missing? I think there was 7 or 8 of us, but honestly, yeah, that was a lot of fun. We would literally just run, change, run back out on stage, and yeah, that was really really fun.
So my next question is, which one was more harder to rehearse, Sound Off or the Humpty Dumpty medley?
Honestly, probably the Humpty Dumpty melody, just because the ranges and
also, like, that video is on YouTube, by the way.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, Josh's dad posted it.
Okay, nice. But
nice. So yeah, because like I saw, like, I was like, I know, like, did Dr. Dunn came up with that idea, or like, so how
I
does,
think
like,
so.
Because like so
I haven't thought about that in forever. Holy crap!
Was that hard to do, or how was that?
No, it definitely took each section a lot of time to really get down on our, to make sure we were hitting those notes and to, make
because
sure.
It was a cappella. Mind you, this song was like a cappella, like no instruments, just straight up a cappella.
Yeah, it was a cool song.
But also, like, the senior song. Did you all decide the senior song, or?
Yeah. We voted on it. We voted on it for sure.
What was, like, the other candidates? Can I know?
Oh,
like, our song was, excuse me, "Good Britain and Time of Your Life" from Green Day. That's a good song. But
I never really learned that song, so I'd be
na 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 na. You're like mouthing the words.
Yeah, I would just be.
Yeah. So what was the other candidates? Can I know?
What's that? There's that one song by Fun.
We Are Young, or Some Nights.
Maybe I think that was one of them, and then like the basic songs that are very cheerful, upbeat. I honestly can't remember any other ones, so I apologize.
That's okay. Do you remember the class before us? They did "Wherever I Go" from Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
I was like, that is not appropriate for
And then I think before that one, they did the Toy Story one.
Yeah, you got a friend in me.
Yeah, that's a classic.
But my favorite part about going to Showtime was because I always had friends in it, and I would always get them cookies or flowers. And so Showtime's like a variety show, and you have to be like a sophomore, junior, or senior, right?
Yeah, so you could be a sophomore, but you can't do a solo performance. If you're in concert choir or bellissima, I believe you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
But to actually, have a solo or a duet or a group, you have to be a junior, senior.
Yeah, and so, but yeah, my favorite. Were you in that group number "Shut Up and Dance with Me" one?
I'm pretty sure. I think
that was my favorite one with you, Christina. That was hilarious. That was hilarious, and I went one year with my mom, and I had so much fun.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved going and watching it. Growing up, we would always go as kids. I remember Josh, James, and I would go when we were young, and we loved watching it. But
did your sister do Showtime?
No, she was in the orchestra. Ah. Yep. So my cousins and my sister all did orchestra, and then I was the only one that did choir.
Oh my gosh.
But Julia, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm afraid that my phone is gonna take storage again, but thank you so much for letting me into your place. Congratulations on the new spot. It's really dope. I really like it.
Appreciate it.
And thank you for being so open and honest today. I know it can be sometimes challenging talking about deeper conversations and loss. So thank you for being so brave and coming on and being so willing to really just open up and let this out for anyone, and hopefully someone can listen and take little pieces from it, and it'll help someone somewhere.
Of course, like the video, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell notifications, because if you don't put the bell notifications, you're dead.
No.
Dead. I'm kidding.
Julie's gonna come and find you. She's gonna come knock on that door and say, "Hey, you better hit it."